So we have an update surrounding the situation between filmmakers like Christopher Nolan and Warner Brothers with a new article from The Hollywood Reporter. With filmmakers and actors previously talking out about the way Warner Brothers have treated them and giving less communication during controversial announcements, this new information is something that gives more light on all the issues. I'm going to be addressing this article and explaining why it may have been pivotal towards the recent news that Christopher Nolan is thinking about parting ways with the studio. But before I get into it, if you want to see more updates and videos on the work of directors like Christopher Nolan, Denis Villeneuve, and Zack Snyder, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoy this video, remember to give it a like rating. But without further ado, let's dive into the newest update on Warner Brothers and where it leaves filmmakers like Christopher Nolan. So in the latest article on The Hollywood Reporter, we get a possible indicator towards why Christopher Nolan may be leaving the studio and why the other issues with other filmmakers have escalated over the last few months. It's important to note at the start of this video that Christopher Nolan has currently not left Warner Brothers, and the recent reports on the director mainly claim that it's been a decision he is thinking about taking. He said in his own words that he will not make his next movie with them, but this is of course due to the decision that they were making with putting many of their films on HBO Max. But let's get into what was said in this latest article. It says that it's been a challenging several months for Warner Brothers, in particular for Toby Emmerich. As The Hollywood Reporter previously reported, Emmerich along with COO Carolyn Blackwood were key players in Warner's surprise December move to put the studio's entire 2021 slate of films on the HBO Max streaming service the same day they open in theatres. The studio faced backlash, including rebukes from directors Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve. Sources say Warner's wrote big checks to some of those who had movies affected by the decision, such as Denzel Washington and Keanu Reeves. For some talent reps, resentment lingers. One agent with important movie clients says that when he challenged Emmerich about the move, his answer was, "Are we supposed to have called above the line people from 17 movies? The answer is yes." It goes on to say in the article that in explaining the decision, Warner said its analysis was that theatres could not open meaningfully before the end of 2021. Not even 2 weeks later, the first vaccine shipments went out in the US. In April, Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar told Peter Kafka that certain 2022 movies will have an exclusive theatrical window, and Cineworld said the studio had struck a deal to show certain films exclusively in theatres for 45 days before streaming, though the terms of that agreement are not clear. Kilar called the situation bumpy and said, "If I had the chance to do it over again, I think it's very fair to say that we would have taken a couple more days to see if we could have had more conversations than we were able to." The Hollywood Reporter then highlighted that it's not clear that the studio had conversations with any of its creative partners. And of course, the main players at Warner Brothers are also concerned about the performance of the studio's important DC movies. Warner's had also faced negative publicity from the studio's response to Joss Whedon's alleged behaviour on the set of Justice League, with stars including Ray Fisher, Gal Gadot, and Jason Momoa stating publicly that there were issues during Whedon's time on the film. The March release of the Snyder Cut renewed attention to the issues, with Fisher, who played Cyborg in the film, continuing to allege abusive conduct on the project and accusing the studio of not seriously investigating his claims, which Warner Media denies. What this article brings to light is that Toby Emmerich and other executives were key players behind all of these issues, including of course the one between Christopher Nolan and the studio on the streaming situation. It's noted in the article that with 18 months left on his contract, Warner's film studio chairman Toby Emmerich is exploring new job opportunities. While it is far from clear that Emmerich will leave the studio after more than 20 years, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that David Geffen in recent weeks placed a call to Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos to inquire whether there might be a possible role for Emmerich at Netflix. So what does this all suggest? Well, it seems that a lot of the controversial decisions that were made seem to stem from Toby Emmerich and a few of the higher-ups at Warner Brothers, and the decisions have resulted in Nolan wanting to leave and other filmmakers like Denis Villeneuve and Zack Snyder speaking out about their connected and also separate issues with the studio. Now it seems like Emmerich wants to get a new job amongst all the heat he's been facing. This could also mean that Zack Snyder may have another chance at restoring the Snyderverse if he leaves, and Nolan might likely stay at the studio. But again, this hasn't happened yet, and all the issues between the studio and the creatives hasn't been fixed overnight. After all, it's not just Toby Emmerich who filmmakers are unhappy with surrounding the recent decisions, and the leave of one executive isn't going to fix the problems at the studio. These decisions came under multiple people, as the article suggests, and it's likely that the route they are heading in now is one that they are going to stick to. If that happens, which is currently likely to happen, then we will most probably see Christopher Nolan leave them officially, and other filmmakers will follow suit. Quite frankly, I'm extremely disappointed in Warner Brothers recently, and the fact that they haven't clearly apologised for how they treated the creatives, big and small, during the decisions that were made, is another reason why they are losing their biggest filmmakers. Putting aside all the business reasons towards why what they have done is wrong, which I have discussed in previous videos, the ethical reasons are ones which really highlight the miscommunication and ridiculous decisions overall. It's sad to see what was once known as the studio that was for the filmmakers drop this low, and with them even putting Tenet on HBO Max recently without Nolan's consent, it's just another reason to add to the list of why Warner Brothers are pushing the best creatives to other studios. But that was all the latest updates on what has been going on at Warner Brothers, and it looks to be going in a bad direction for the studio. Again, Christopher Nolan has not officially left Warner Brothers, but if things continue to escalate and the studio continues to go in the direction they are headed in, then they will likely lose him. I will be keeping you up to date on this, and it will be interesting to see what happens in the coming months. But regardless of the latest article and what I think, let me know down below what your opinion is towards the issues between Warner Brothers and their filmmakers, along with what studio you think Nolan will end up working with if he does leave the studio in the future. For more updates and content on the work of directors like Christopher Nolan, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.